What up, it's Dane here. In this video I'm going to be telling you how to tell if someone is natural or not, so the holy grail in the fitness industry. So let's get it. So first, let's begin by looking at some popular examples just in the fitness industry, including fitness YouTubers and just the general old guys. So now it's your chance to determine if these individuals are natural or not. So you might have heard of the FFMI, which is the fat-free mass index, basically just taking into account the amount of muscle mass you hold and relating it to your height. So a popular number that everyone throws out there is 25. If you're over 25, you're definitely on steroids, man, definitely, no doubt about it. Now, there's a few limitations to this judgment, right? So first, let's begin by looking at the typical study that everyone uses for the FFMI, and this is basically what it entails. So basically, they took 157 male athletes, 83 of them took steroids, and 74 of them did not take any steroids. The only requirements in order to get into the study was basically you needed to be 16 and you needed to have 2 years of training experience. As always, the link is in the description if you want to read more into the study. There's obviously a lot more to it than this. So let's go through some problems in the study and why you maybe shouldn't judge people if they got FFMI of 25 and over. So limitation number one is that the participants were probably not even near the genetic ceiling, as all they really needed to have is be at least 16 and have 2 years gym experience. Now, when you have 2 years gym experience, you're very likely not to be near your genetic ceiling. Now, your genetic ceiling is basically just how much muscle mass you can gain and basically your lifetime. So at the point you cannot gain any more muscle mass. The dreaded point. Keep this in mind as well. Individuals probably training for 5 years probably haven't even got near their genetic potential either, because let's face it, a lot of typical gym goers do not optimize their training and they just go through the years, not really like just arsing around basically. Number two is that the sample size of the non-steroid users is only 74, man. It needs to be a lot larger than this to determine if like someone, like a very known fitness person, is using steroids or not. That being said, the researchers did actually acknowledge this, so give them credit, man, where it's due. So limitation number three is that the author actually based a body fat percentage on photographs from the Mr. American winners. Now, as you may already know, this is not the best way to do it. He could have been like the most experienced person in the world, but the photos could have been edited as well. Although it's probably very highly in like 1980s when it's just black and white pictures. Or 1950. Or maybe 1930. So the study basically estimated the FFMI of the Mr. American winners from 1939 to 1959. So about the average FFMI was about 25. However, there were some individuals that got to about 27, even maybe 28. So how do people even get 25 in the first place? I mean, there could be outliers anywhere. So that being said, man, just stop the black and white thinking. So now that you know this, let me give you a brief history on steroids. Get ready for this history lesson. Basically, testosterone became widely available, or people knew more about it, and it got produced at high levels in 1944. Whereas before that time, it was still available and it was actually tested on healthy males. However, testosterone cost like, for 1 gram it was like $50, and that was just a lot of money. So not many people could actually afford that as well. So that being said, if we look at the image that I'm going to display here, from 1939 to 1944, that green line actually indicates a clear, like almost 99.9% sure that these people did not take any steroids, as it was just too expensive before that, and only after 1944 did it become more widely available. So for those of you that are very skeptical about these people being on steroids, have a look at these two individuals, and before this time they didn't even know steroids even existed. So as you can see, Bobby Pandol in 1900s and Eugene Sandoff in 1890s, like this time people didn't even know about steroids, and their physiques are incredible, right? So keep this in mind. If you really want to be extremely like skeptical, which I don't really suggest anyway, but you can kind of aim for these kind of physiques, and just keep in mind genetics do play a part, so you won't look exactly like them. However, that's very good physiques. So now that you actually understand what a general FFMI you could be aiming for, I'd suggest anything around like 25 to 28, even more, right? Like I said, don't think black and white thinking you're limiting yourself. Over 30 is probably pushing it a little bit. So that being said, it's actually your choice to determine if these popular fitness YouTubers, or just the people in the fitness industry, are taking steroids or not, right? It's not from my position to say he's taking steroids, he's taking that, like, because I don't certainly know. So I guess the main question is, how much muscle can you actually gain? Now, what I really recommend is you click the description down below and it will take you to Casey Butt's website. Enter all your information. It will take your bone structures, basically your ankle and your wrist and your body fat percentage. And once you know this, it will give you a very, very accurate number on how much muscle you can gain and exact body fat percentage. Now, I did say a very accurate number, however, I didn't say an exact number. So let's use myself as an example. Let's get my FFMI and how much muscle I can actually gain at a specific body fat percentage and my maximum muscular potential. So as you can see, my FFMI is about 24, and that's quite good, right? I've only been training in the gym for about a year and a half, but before that, if you didn't know, I did train calisthenics for another year. So basically been training 2.5 years, and my FFMI is 24. So yeah, let's go find out my maximum muscular potential. So there you can see my maximum muscular potential to 8 to 10% body fat is about 210 pounds, right? It's like 211, but let's just call it 210 pounds. And in my opinion, that's a reasonable number to shoot for. So there you have it. That's basically how you can tell if someone is natural or not. Now, I know that a lot of people are going to ask, okay, what's the cutoff point, Dane? Now, my recommendation would be about an FFMI of about 27 to 28. Anything more than that is likely to be steroids. However, you need to understand that there are a lot of outliers out there, right? Okay, we can say an average FFMI is 25. We can say that, but saying someone at a 27 FFMI is definitely on steroids is just wrong, because like that Mr. American shows, some people were at 27 FFMI when steroids were not widely available. So again, there can be outliers in the world. It's most likely it probably isn't you if you're even watching this video, or it might even be you, right? You might have a bigger bone structure, and when you have a bigger bone structure, you have more maximum muscular potential. So it's all down to genetics, just like most things are in bodybuilding. For example, if you have bigger arms, if you're on thick arms and your bicep inserts here and you want a massive thick arm, that's not going to happen. And if you're on a peak and your bicep inserts like some weird point, you're not going to have it. So again, bodybuilding genetics do play a massive role, even though I don't want to hear it. I'm guessing you probably don't want to hear it either. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope now you can decide for yourself, is this guy natural and this guy not. Now, one thing I have to mention as well is that a lot of these photos on Instagram or these fitness guys, they have good angles, good lighting, great pump. They take about 1,000 pictures on one photo shoot or something. Okay, that was a bit exaggerated, but maybe 100 photos, and they choose one good one, one great one to upload, right? So if you had to look at them in real life without great lighting, you understand that most likely these guys are not on steroids, depending on who you're talking about, obviously. So anyway, that's the end of the video. Now you can tell if someone's natty or not. Stay positive, stay smiling. Subscribe to the channel down below. When I get to 1,000 subscribers, 10k calorie challenge coming soon. And as always,